Your frustrations are actually your incubator. You're hatching something in the midst of your frustration. You know, for some, this lockdown period that we're in has just been so frustrating, especially if you've got a lot of kids at home. Like, I'm okay, it's just my husband and I, and it's just easy going. But I feel for those who've got kids home from school, it can be such a frustrating time. But I want to tell you, in this time of frustration, something's hatching in you. There's new thoughts, there's creative ideas, there's alternate behaviour patterns that are actually coming out of you. But you don't know about that yet, because the frustration is actually the incubator that you're going to bring something from. Incubation is the period of time that elapses from something being the very beginning to the manifestation of that thing. So it might be, as we're all learning, the incubation of a disease or of a chicken, you know. And it's a feeling of discontent because you're not quite able to make something happen that you want, and you're wanting to see that change, but it's just not coming forth for you. But there are other things that are incubated besides chickens and diseases. And God uses that period of incubation. You know, there's an old saying that frustration is the mother of invention. And it's a place within you that's creating a force that's going to make you make a decision. It's not only the mother of inventions, but frustration is also the mother of decision making. For example, for me, I know that I know it's time to write a little book or something, because I feel frustrated at the kaleidoscope of ideas and thoughts that are scattered all through my head, and they need to be captured and organised and actually put down so they can be helpful to somebody. And there's a build-up of the frustration of seemingly disconnected thoughts. That says to me, it's time for you to get your pen out, or for some of you, a computer out or whatever, and begin to write what's in your heart and what's in your mind. The frustration that you feel is often a clue that you are coming not only to make a decision, but it's time to act, perhaps, on a decision that you have made. Because a decision without action creates a lot of frustration. So when you make the decision, know that you need to quickly act on that decision, or frustration builds. Frustration is also an invitation to the next level. We just want the next level to come, but it's often frustration that forces us into a place where we're ready to take that next step. It's like we're going through a process, we're going through a rite of passage, and in that there's a lot of frustration. Peter, again, poor old Peter, I pick on him a lot, I know, but Peter was kind of frustrated because he'd walked with Jesus for 3 years. He had seen the miracles. He had watched him walk on water. He had seen him be arrested, and he'd watched from afar the crucifixion. He was there at the resurrection, and now, it's like he gone, you know. What the? And we see here in John 21 that Peter's ultimate response to frustration. He says, when they'd all gathered together, he says, I'm going fishing. And they all said, that's all the disciples said, well, we'll go with you. Little did they know that Jesus was going to ambush them with a barbecue on the beach that day, and that he was going to sort out Peter's frustration, because Peter was frustrated not only at the circumstances but at himself, because he thought that he had declared Jesus to be the Christ. He thought he was really got some number there, really important. But it turns out that he, like so many of us, had failed the Lord. And so Jesus hones in on this frustration and failure and disappointment in Peter and brings him to a place where he'll make a decision. And that decision was, of course, to feed the people of God, which he did. It also brought him to a place where he surrendered to martyrdom. So don't let your frustration go too far. But just saying, in this time, in the midst of your frustration, it's no good saying don't be frustrated, but in the midst of your frustration, know that in the middle of it, it's your incubation period for the new thing within you that will manifest in time to come forth. So take courage in this time and go, something's going on inside me. Holy Spirit, do your work.